In this video, we're going to try and factorize with negatives. So here, let's just say that you've been given this here. If you multiply this out, this times this, it will give you this. This times this, it will give you this, negative 2x. And then this times this, 7x. And this times this will be negative 14. Now, look at this bit here. Because you've got a negative in here, when you come to merge these two together, the two will merge together to create 5x. So let's just say, just bear this in mind, because you've got this negative here, you're going to have a negative term. So when you come to add the two together, it will become 5. So let's just say we've been given this here. Now, how would you go about factorizing this? So again, your eyes should zoom into here. How would you be able to create the number 14? So remember that they've got to multiply together to create 14. You could try a 1. You could try a 1 and a 14. Remember, one of these will have to be a negative in order to create a negative 14. So you could say a negative 1, or you could say a negative 14. Okay, you could say positive 1 or negative 14 in order to create the negative 14 here. So well, anyway, let's start again. So when you're given this here, your eyes should zoom into this. How would you create the 14? So here you could create, you could use 14. You could use a 1 and a 14, or you could use or you could use a what? 14. Oh yeah, sorry. 7 and a 2. You could use a 7 and a 2. Let's have a look at the 1 and a 14. How would you create a 5x with 1 and 14? You could say, negative 1 and then positive 14. Remember, one of the two will have to be negative in order for you to create this negative 14 here. You could say this. Well, you see this here will give you minus x, and this will give you 14x. So later on, when you merge the two will become 13x. But we need 5x. You could say a positive 1 and a negative 14. In this case, you will later on have x, 1x, and then later on you have minus 14x. So when you merge the two here, it will give you 13x. But we need 5x. You see, you've got to use 7 and a 2. So now that we know it's a 7 and a 2, well, remember, one of the two here will have to be negative in order for us to create the minus 14. You see, let's try and guess minus 2 and a 7, because one of the two will have to be negative in order to create the negative 14. You see, if you do it this way here, you're going to have negative 2x later on, and then positive x here, and if you merge, if you merge these two together, it will give you 5x. So this here is a good choice. Okay, this here is a good choice. So this here will give you 5x, which is what we want when you come to merge these two together. So making it minus 2 is a good option. Minus 2 positive 7. Had you taken positive 2 and a negative 7, it will give you 2x, and then here it will give you minus 7x. When you merge these two together, it will give you minus 5x. So this here is not a good option. So this is a better option. Okay. So your answer would be x minus 2. Okay, and then x plus 7. So when you're given this here, this will be your answer. Just watch some more examples, and then hopefully you get the hang of it. Again, here you're trying to choose two numbers to be able to create 45, but then you can somehow juggle about to create the 4x when you add the two together. So hang on, let's zoom into here. What two numbers can you multiply together will give you 45. You could say 1 and 45. Now, how would you create 4x from 1 and a 45? Even if you make this minus, um, suppose you have, well, you know, you got to one of the two will have to be negative in order to create negative 45. Well, if you choose minus 45 and a positive 1, and a positive 1, that later on that will give you minus 44x. You see, you don't want minus 44x. You only want 4x. Well, so here your eyes should zoom into this. Let's try. How would you be able to create 45? You could try a 9 and a 5. Okay, 9 times 5 will give you 45. Now one of the two will have to be a negative in order for us to create negative 45. Now, if I make 9 negative, I'm going to have minus 9x later on, and 5x. You see, when you merge these two together, it will give you negative 4x. So because I'm trying to make 4x here, I'm going to need positive 9 and a negative 5. Because later on I will have 9x and then over here minus 5x. So well you're going to need this. So to factorize this has to be positive, this has to be negative. So factorize this will give you this x plus 9 and then x minus 5. Okay, so this, if you factorize this, it will give you this here. Okay, just watch a few more examples. So here, your eyes should zoom into this. How would you create 4? Well, you need two numbers. When you multiply together, it will give you 12. 4 and a 3. But can I create a 4 and a 3 by using a? Let's say I can juggle about with negatives. I can put a negative here or a negative here. But being able to juggle the negatives about, how would I create 4x from, sorry, negative 4x from a 4 and a 3? Even if you can juggle about with the negatives, you won't be able to do it. So let's try a different pair. How about a 2 and a 6? You could try a 1 and a 12, but how would you create negative 4x from a 1 and a 12? You can't. So the other good pair would be 6 and a 2. So now it's just a matter of creating a negative 4. Well, a negative 4, I'm going to need. I just got a gut feeling that I'm going to need negative 6. So later on, I'm going to have negative 6x and then positive 2x. So when you merge the two together, it will give you 4x. So I know that when you come to factorize this, it will be x, bracket here, minus 6, and then x plus 2. So this here would be your factorization of this. Okay, if you don't believe me, multiply it out, and it should give you this thing here. Okay. Next one. Again, zoom into the 40. How would you create 40? You can try different combinations, 1 and 40, but I don't think you're going to be able to create the 3 with a 1 and a 40. Let's see, 10 and a 4. Would you be able to create a 3 with that? No, you wouldn't. How about 8 and a 5? 8 times 5 is 40. Can I create an 8? Being able to juggle the negative would I be able to create 3x here? Yes, I would. If you stick a negative here, you can. If you stick a negative with the 8, you're going to have minus 8x later on, and then 5x. When you come to merge the two together, it will give you negative 3x, but we want positive 3x. Well, anyway, we know it's going to be 8 and a 5. Well, it turns out to be negative. Make the 5 negative and the 8 positive. So later on, you're going to get positive 8x and then negative 5x. Then merge the two together will give you this. Will give you 3x. So the answer to this would be bracket x, and then plus 8, and then here x minus 5. Again, if you don't believe me, multiply it out and it should give you this. Okay. Okay, this one here. How two numbers multiplied together? I'm going to try a 4 and a 1 as opposed to a 2 and a 2. How would I create negative 3x with a 2 and a 2? Well, you see, I can create a negative 3x with this. If I stick a minus in here, I can. Okay, so here it would be x bracket x and then negative 4 and then x plus 1. Again, if you don't believe me, multiply it out and it will give you this. This one here, your eye should zoom into this. How would you create 30? Well, and be able to create the 7. You could try a 15 and a 2. You see, 15 and a 2, how would you create 7 from 15 and a 2? I'm going to try, what am I going to try? 6 and a 5. You could try 6 and a 5, but I don't think you can create this. Oh, how about 30 and a 1? Can't create a 7 with that. 6 and a 5. What else is there? 5. 5 and there. Oh, it's me being silly again, isn't it? 5. 10. Oh, sorry. 10 and a 3. Yeah, 10 and a 3. 10 and a 3. Okay, yeah, a 10 and a 3. I can create a 7x with 10 and a 3. If I make this negative, then it will become a 7x. Yeah, 10 and a 3 with a negative being with the 3. Okay, so it will be this. Plus 10 and then x minus 3. Okay? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay?